Tom, you all right? Good. We were debating today if it was better that Purdue won or lost last night. Did you have a feeling as you watched that?
Well, the only feeling I had is, we needed the door opened. It reminds me of Andre Hudson, David Thomas's senior year. There has to be a chance. If they win again, that means they've got to lose 3 times. So, there's a lot of season left, but I think gives us one more chance that we play Saturday, and if we win, at worst we're tied, for first, and if we lose, then I guess Ohio State would be up. They got some tough games left too, so we tie with Purdue, and that puts us in a little better position. So I don't know. I never pull for a team to win or lose. We got to win it our own way, but you do need some breaks along the way, and somebody's got to lose.
For those of us that have covered you a long time, you've told them to win games for fans, for themselves, but never one for you. Because this is a Jud tribute, is this one a little bit more personal to Tom Izzo?
Well, it's a little more personal. I told them we got to win for our former players. We got to win for the healing process. We got to win for our survivors, and we got to win for ourselves. And then I added, we got to win for Jud, not me. The tribute is to Jud, and without him, I wouldn't have been here. So a lot of them wouldn't have been here. So is that putting a lot on them? Hopefully it is. That's kind of what you do at this time of year. You should be playing for a lot of things, and we are playing for a lot of things.
You got your Jud green for Saturday?
Yeah. I'm not combing my hair forward, and I'm not thudding my head. Other than that, I'll have his outfit on.
Tom, because these guys haven't been in a lot of big game situations, and you have, considering that, how do you approach the game, and then how do you want them to approach the game?
Well, like Matt just told us, we've played in 2 top 5 games in Breslin. That doesn't happen very often. This is our 3rd top 5 game of the year. Us and Duke 1 against 2. Us and Notre Dame, I think it was 4 against 5 or something. And now us and Purdue, it's 3 against 4. So when you look at it that way, it's a privilege for them. And I told them that's the privilege you guys got to respond to. Sooner or later, the freshmen and sophomores got to become juniors and seniors. And I think that was my question to them today.
What are your things you saw in that game that you think you could exploit against Purdue?
We look at how we've been playing, and I think I'd agree with most of you that there's been some inconsistencies. But if you look at a lot of teams right now, and they've been one of them. Michigan, Rutgers. They've struggled a little bit too, but at times. And last night, almost 3 more, 1, 2, and 3 almost went down. Florida State had Virginia for 35 minutes. So I don't know what we can do to exploit them. They've got still those 4 seniors that I think really are solid. Being on the road won't bother them. They are a very good shooting team, and they got a post presence. So they've kind of got a little bit of everything, which good teams have. Maybe their depth isn't quite. Last night, nobody scored coming up. Maybe, but Matt's a good coach. They've done a good job. He's done a hell of a job with them. So hopefully the game will be as good as the building.
Good or bad for you coming off a loss, or does it not matter?
I don't think so with seniors. In fact, if anything, maybe that raises them up a notch. With all those seniors that have been through many wars, I think going on the road isn't as big a deal for them. I think coming off a loss, I've seen it early in the year for us. We came off a loss. We weren't great for the next 2 games, but we're really young. I think with veterans, when I had veteran teams, I think if anything, you dug down a little deeper. So I'm just hoping that the crowd and the excitement of the game, and maybe Jud can work some wizardry up there if he's up there, and we go from there.
Because what do you tell your kids about pass and how to defend it?
Don't foul them. I think we've committed too many fouls in the last couple of years. Last year here, we were playing really good until we had to put Matt in there against him, and that didn't work out so good. They went on a 10-2 run before halftime, and but we don't want to get into a foul situation, and that's he's going to score some points. He's big, he's good, he's talented. His hook shot has gotten better, but at the same time, I think sometimes you worry so much about him in there you don't guard the threes. They've got probably the best team, maybe in the whole country, of having an inside-outside game. And then they bring in another guy in Harms who's kind of different than him, that does a little more outside. So they've got a good combination of things. It's a very, very good team.
Tom, do you have to scout how it's going to be officiated?
Never do that. I never know who they are. Don't want to know who they are. You know what? I don't get into that. You know, I got enough problems and worried about what those guys do. But it's a good question. I think some coaches do that. I'm just not going to do that. It get me too upset.
Who do you match Edwards? Is that going to be Josh and Matt kind of, or go smaller on him?
With the small Edwards?
Yeah, the smaller.
You know, Josh will probably start out on him. You know, that's where we can play Tom and Cassius together some. But he is the most dynamic as far as coming off screens and sprinting off things. Phenomenal athlete. So, you know, we're going to have to chase him around with probably a couple different guys. And McQuaid has done a damn good job this year of guarding people, but they've got a couple guys in that perimeter that can really move. Mathis is not only a very good guy coming off, he's very good at, you know, pushing off, and he's got all the senior tricks, you know, but he's a really good passer into the post too. So two of them are really good passers in the post. Two of them are really good shooters coming off ball screens. The post guy's as big as just about all of you standing on each other's shoulders, and probably weighs more than that would be. And they're well coached, so it's you can't ask for more. The Jud Tribute game, 4 o'clock here, great time of day. I got to admit, you know, it's exciting.
Did you sense an extra pep in their step today with everything that's going on?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest reason, though, a day off. I'd like to say it's because everything else. These guys have been, you know, everybody. I kicked even my staff out of there late yesterday afternoon. I didn't want anybody working nights. I think everybody needed to get refreshed a little bit. It was a brutal 12 days, and but I think they're not stupid. They know what big games are, and you know, even though the young guys don't as much, this is where I got, you know, a couple of guys that have been to a Final Four to talk to them there. Going to try to bring in a couple guys that have been through this tomorrow, with a lot of guys coming back, so we'll have some guys talk to them. It's always better than the coach talking to him at this time of year.
Because he was Jud's favorite guy and one of yours, how cool is it that Katie's going to be here?
Well, that's great. You know, Gene was the first guy I called, to be honest with you, because I just thought, other than his wife and Don Munson, Jud would want Gene here. It happened to be the Purdue game. And that's not why he's coming. He's coming for Jud, and he'll get to enjoy the Purdue game too. And because Matt was a guy that he picked, so it's kind of unique that these two programs over all these years have a similar coaching tree, if you could say it that way. But having Gene back in the building, I think he's going to go to the rebounders tomorrow. Gene's a guy that has really stayed in touch with me over the years. Every month or more, I get a call from him. You know, tell me how to handle things or what to do, and you gotta love him. I just wish we could do it the way he did it, you know? I wish we could play the way we used to play, instead of this belly bump ball that we have to play now.
What about senior guys? I mean, these guys haven't been around Jud. They weren't doing maybe
yeah.
But I mean, how do you pass on who he was?
Yeah, you know, it's a good question about the younger guys really don't know Jud, but everybody knows Jud because every day is filled with Jud-isms. And you know, today in my staff meeting, you know, Fife said something about, well, we gotta keep Hawes off the block as best we can, you know. And I said, well, as Jud would say, looking down, you have a wonderful sense for the obvious, you know. I mean, so every day, there's not many days that go by that there isn't a Jud-ism, because number one, I appreciate it, and number two, they're usually the right thing to say. I mean, he went through a lot of years of coaching, and he always had the right thing to say. So they know, I mean, they don't know him. Some of them haven't met him, but they know what the program stands for. They know I wouldn't be here, which means they wouldn't be here, and we'll try to build on that. I might get a little video of him tomorrow before Saturday or something like that.
Tom, what would you say to fans about what you need from them and what you expect from them on Saturday?
Well, I saw last night where they said Purdue was the best arena in the league. So I think our fans have to be at a fever pitch, and I hope in a classy way. You know, that's one thing that I've appreciated for us going through everything we've been through. They've really been that way, and it's you know, I want our fans to worry more about us than Purdue or Gene. I mean, I hope they give him a warm welcome. I got a couple of old officials coming back. I think Eddie Hightower's coming back. He was one of the first guys to call. Pretty cool, you know, when you think that people were at odds with each other, but respect kind of does more than the at odds, you know. And so I hope all the people appreciate, you know, the different people that'll be coming back. And like I said, I thought I'd know today. I don't even know everybody that's coming back as a player. It's something I'm going to try to work on tonight a little bit. I've been a little busy.
Is it a combination of Haas and Vince Edwards with the 4 or 5? Or is that kind of league more in terms of where to be, where to go? It's kind of not odd man out, but neither is a natural matchup.
Well, I think Haas, believe it or not, Nick does a pretty good job guarding the post. It's when he has to move outside and guard ball screens that he sometimes struggles a little bit, and they don't screen with him a lot. So in some ways, even though the size differential will be 60, 70 pounds, who knows how much he weighs, but when you got size 22 or 23 feet, that's holding up a lot of weight. So the foundation is big, so I think the rest of it is. And I think, you know, Nick will hold his own. They got to guard him too, you know, and, you know, we had some success last year and some things Nick did too. So it's going to be a chess match of everybody trying to do what's right. But I think, you know, we're worried about their shooters, and I think we're starting to shoot the ball better again. And I think last 2-3 games we've shot it pretty well too.
Magic's not coming, right?
I don't think so, but I'm not.
You never know.
Yes.
But Beverly is, right?
Yes.
Well, if you know,
Munson is.
wonder if you know Bill Beekman at all had any reaction to his injury.
Well, I do know Bill Beekman, and you know, I like Bill Beekman. I don't know him as an AD. I barely know him as a boss because, you know, even though his position there was something, I really don't. I don't know him that well, but like everybody, as new people come in, I'm going to get to know him. When I get to know him, I'll have a better comment for you than right now.
When you lean on an athletic director, is most of it in the off season, or is it during the season? I mean, are you missing that ability to touch base and get on the hotline?
You know, when you've been here as long as I have, that wasn't something that, I mean, Mark was a friend, and so more as a friend I leaned on him than I did as an athletic director, if that makes any sense. I mean, we were friends for 30 years, so I don't, it's not like there's a void. You know, Greg Ianni and you know, in all honesty, Jennifer Smith was over today. You know, those people are going to be solid as a rock. And you know, Mark had been gone a decent amount the last couple of years because of the basketball committee. So I don't see that as any factor right now, especially down the stretch.
What do you think about Matthias? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you see yourself taking on more of a kind of leadership role? Obviously, I mean,
I hope so.
A huge piece here, but
you know what? I really do hope so. I think a lot of things you want to leave behind as a legacy, I guess, if that's a word that doesn't really relate well to me. But I think one of my jobs is to help the healing process, as I've talked about. And you know, you think about it with the students and with the survivors and with the community, but it's also with our own coaches. I mean, our own coaches have lost some things too, you know. So because of that, I'm always going to be there for them. I mean, they've always been there for me, and I know they've been great about it.
Matthias's defense last night against Diop. They tried to take him to the post later, but he's an underrated defender too. He might
very much so, underrated defender. Great hands, gets his hands on a lot of balls, sprints off screens, and a great post passer. So he can shoot it, he can pass it, he can defend it, and that's what he's grown. You know, last year he wasn't as good a defender. I think each year he picked up a new part of his game, and now as a senior, he's got a lot of parts to his game. He is a very, very good player. You know, I think he's kind of the guy that keeps that thing all together when you watch him, because he can do so many different things.
With the way Purdue cuts and the way they do things away from the ball, down and ready and combative, are those things that you can point to your guys and say, this is the way we kind of have to get through? These are seniors.
Yeah, we had a film session before, and that's exactly right. I mean, they are the best slashing, cutting team that we will have played. Although, you know, when we played UConn, believe it or not, they were very good, and there's been a couple teams like that, but Purdue's doing it with skill, with size, with speed, and with experience. And those things mean a lot. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to get lost. You know, it's going to be a challenge for Miles. It's going to be a challenge for Josh and McQuaid. It's going to be a challenge for Cassius. We're not going to be able to get lost on that perimeter. But, you know, looking at today, you know, I like what I saw today. I mean, we competed pretty good defensively. First day of looking at it, because yesterday was a total day off. We're going to have some meetings tonight, get after it tomorrow, be ready to go on Saturday.
How much do you miss Jud right now?
How much do I miss Jud right now? You know, Jud was the kind of guy that would give me a lot of crap. You know, he would. I mean, if we lost, you know, and it was a game that maybe we should have won, he'd be on me about it. But then the minute, if it was you guys, if it was fans, if it was my wife, you know, then he's writing me a long letter. He's making a phone call that, you know, meant the world to me. And that I do miss right now, you know, like last 2 weeks I've been calling, but nobody's answering, you know, and that's been a little hard because he had great wisdom, and even though he was away from it, he was a real good talker, as we all know, but he was a better listener than people gave him credit for. And when he listened, he would come up with things. And so he would have been calling me a lot in the last 2 weeks, I'm sure, and both basketball and outside, and I appreciate that. I really do, but I miss it. I really do.
What would his advice been to you, think? What would his advisor,
that's a good question, because I don't know if he would have told me to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because that's not what he would have done, but he was pre-Twitter, you know, he was pre-computer dish. He was pre-computer.